see here. Perfect, perfect. There we go. Hello, happy Thursday. And to the replay warriors, hello to you whenever you catch this. Super happy that you're able to make it. So as per usual, I'm just coming out of a Zoom and did not put this out there ahead of time, which is okay. Still same time, same place, everything. So hi Connie, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, thank you. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday to all of you wonderful folks. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the live stream on my computer. Just give me one moment. Once I find it, we will be in good... Hold on, sorry. Come on. Yeah, there it is. Okay, perfect. Good. Okay. Hi. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, Robin. Hello, hello. I'm going to slide the chat over so I can see it. Perfect. Okay, so who is ready for week 2 of the crochet? Or is it? It's a Mal, right? Did I put Cal? Hold on, let me see. No, Mal. I did it right. Okay. Who's ready for week 2 of the Mal? I know I am. Super happy, super excited. Hello, Hope and Linda and Jan. Blanket hello to all of you guys. Hello, Crochet Jojo and Ruthie and Linda and Suzanne and April. Hello to all of you wonderful folks. Come on in, grab something to snack on, something to drink. I've got mine. Hello, Kathy D and Margaret and Carly, and hello, Samantha Stewart. I'm wearing like a noisy shirt. I don't know if it's the material. Can you guys hear that? It's really loud. It's almost like a windbreaker kind of a thing. So the mic might pick it up. Just let me know if that's the case. I'll move the mic away from the shirt. It's not, I thought it was cotton, but it's that stretchy material. I don't know. Anyway, super happy to see all of you wonderful folks in here. Thank you. Hello to all the mods. Hello to the members. Hello to the viewers. And even all the wonderful people in the bushes. Hello to all of you guys. Thank you for being here. Okay, so I have a few things to show before we jump into the Mal, I guess. I went back and forth trying to figure out like what I was going to choose in terms of like what to make my cardigan with. I had several options I was trying to figure out. I thought about James C. Brett Chunky. I thought about Premier Puzzle. I thought about running Karen 1 Pound together. I had literally all the choices on my brain. I decided in the 13th hour, here it is. This is what I chose to make my cardigan in. Samantha Stewart says, I gave you a shipping blessing from Luck of the Draw number 12 for Boggy Creek. Well, you gave me a shipping blessing? I'm not aware of that. Anyway, let me get back to this very quickly. So this is the yarn that I chose. And so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm running Red Heart Super Saver in soft navy with this yarn. So the panels and the arms and everything will go with this. The ribbing and everything will go with this. So up close, super, super nice. Love that. So that is what I chose because I have plenty of this to go around. So yeah, very nice. Let's see. Trip to a different Michael's today. Karen cakes were marked $6.99, rang up at $5, worth the side trip. Very nice, Roxanne. Very, very nice. Okay, so those were the yarns that I chose. How many of you guys actually started your panels? How many are finished? I'm very curious to know this because I know a handful of my members have made panels, but how many of you guys actually did it? Let's say Kathy and okay, and we have another Kathy finished, and Laura Twisting Stitches is done. Cindy is halfway there. Okay, Connie did 2. All right. So I want to let you guys, the reason why I asked is this. There is no rush to get this done. The videos will be up for you guys. I'm going to put them in a playlist so that you can refer back to them later on. Because even though, you know, this is a live make-along, it has important information in here, like the stuff that I'm going to share with you today. There's some important recipe information that you need to take away from this in order to be successful. So it'll be in a playlist for you guys. Always come back, listen in, and get all the numbers that you need. Okay? Okay, perfect. So Linda A says she hasn't started yet, but finishing a border on a blanket. And again, no rush. The playlist will be there. Who knows? 6 months from now, you may want to start it. No big deal. It's absolutely fine. So I want to let you guys know, this is like my 5th cardigan making it this way. And I got to tell you, for this particular cardigan, I am choosing to not put a hood on mine because just about every cardigan I've made, I placed a hood on there. I don't want a hood on mine this time. But I will show you guys how to do it if you're interested. So I'll be like, okay guys, for those who want hoods, this is what you do. But for those who don't want hoods, sit tight because we're going to progress after we tell all the hooded folks who want hoods how to do it. Okay? So I just want to put that out there right now. I don't want a hood on my cardigan, but that's okay. I don't need one. I can show those who want hoods how to put it on. Okay? So what do the hoods look like? This is a completed one. This is what a finished big boxy cardi looks like. And this is a plus size. I believe this is a 5X. And again, I'm sorry if the microphone is noisy, but I intentionally did an oversized hood. So this is the hood. As you can see, my ribbon goes up and around the hood on both sides. And I intentionally did the stitches this way so that you can place the buttons anywhere you want on the project, and all you have to do is put it through one of those stitches and it works. All right. So if you don't want the hood, don't worry about it. But this part here will be for the 3rd week. So next week, we're going to get to the hood. Putting that out there for those who want hoods. If you don't want hoods, don't worry about it. We're good. All right. So, okay, here we go. Before I get into the cardigan, I have some happy mail that I wanted to share with you guys from Sandhill Yarns. So I shouted them out in my podcast episode. And, you know, it goes without saying, I just wanted to thank them for, I guess, sharing their yarn with us. You know, for those of you guys who don't know this, the latest podcast episode that I have, I post play giveaways. So if you're interested, check it out, do the things, okay? Okay. Where can we find the back panel? So you're looking at Thursday's live last week. So we only do this on Thursdays. So again, I will put it in a playlist for you guys. It'll be week 1, back panel. Week 2, front panels. So I will label everything for you guys. So if you're looking for a particular section, it'll be labeled for you guys, okay? So Sandhill Yarns did it again. I have yarn here. This was actually supposed to be in the very first shipment, but they were inundated with orders. And so anyway, they sent me this. So, and I love the bag. The bag, Sandhill Yarns Squish Mail has arrived. Super nice. All right, let's take a look at this. I have no idea what the colorway is. Let's take a look. We have a card. Hold on. Oh, wow. Handwritten card. Okay. Hello again, Juan. I just wanted to say thank you again for your support. We've had several people join our email list from your channel. It really brightens my day to peek in on what you're doing. Everything I've seen of yours is so positive and uplifting. Keep being a place of peace and positivity for your viewers and for your community. And let me know whenever you need yarn. God bless, Isabel. Thank you so much, Isabel. That's very sweet. So, so good. And look at this. So good. Love this. I love this. So this is what I'm going to, well, okay. So we have this, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to this for a future treat. Because you guys know, I love the yellow. But this color here, that's a choice. And I know there's tons of people out there that love that color, but the yarn is so soft and squish. So, so good. So thank you, thank you. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Sandhill Yarns, for the wonderful yarn. Definitely one for me. And she did mention to me originally that she wanted me to share the yarn, you know, and I 100% agree. Like, let's share all the good stuff. So I took what I got last time, I divided it in half, and this time I'm going to divide this in half. So this will be for me, and this will be for a lucky person down the line on another replay giveaway. Okay, so there's that. And again, thank you, Isabel. Wonderful, wonderful yarn. I'll have to let her know that we talked about the yarn in this video. All right, so the next one, I only have two, and then we can move on to the things. The next one here comes to me from Pilar. So she's a member of the channel, and she showcased some vintage yarn a while ago. It was a whip. It's a gift whip. She sent me this box, and in the box were these squares, okay? We have squares here. We have lavender squares and we have white squares, okay? And inside here, 2 skeins of this very, very vintage yarn. Look at this. So 2 skeins of this. It's in lavender. Absolutely gorgeous. Wonderful. Love this. So I'm going to continue on with what she's got going there and see what becomes of it. Also, we have some of the white yarn as part of that. So just recycling acrylic yarn, you know. And then inside here are these 2 tumblers, right? I did take a peek. I know what they are, but I'm going to show you guys. Look at this. So I know it's backwards, but this was for my mom. A tumbler with my mom's name on it. Absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to give this to my mother. I'll have to tell her what's on the I have to tell her what's on the tumbler. She's not going to be able to see it, but I'll tell her that it's blue and that there's a party sweater on there and all the things. It's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Pilar. And then here's a second one. With my name on it. It says, behind every crocheter is a huge pile of yarn and a story. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Pilar. Wonderful, wonderful gift. Wow. Okay. So there is that. I wanted to get that out of the way. Pilar, thank you so much. Sandhill Yarns, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Very, very nice. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Okay, I need a sip of this coffee, and then we're going to move on to week 2 of the make-along. Okay. Who's ready for the week 2 information? I saw something with the corner of my eye. I just want to make sure that I don't ignore any of the things. Hold on one second. Let me scroll back. Hello to everybody and anyone that I may have missed. I try to get to all the comments, I promise. If I'm missing anybody, let me see. Okay, thank you, Susan K. Okay. Hi, Kari, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Happy to see you. Yes, the name is in the favorite color, right? Aubergine, that dark purple. So, so good. Love it. Okay, so you're back a second time. Okay, very, very nice. Snowy Cat, hello to you. Welcome in. Okay. All right, so let's get on to the week 2. So for those of you guys who are on week 2, actually everyone who's interested in this, maybe grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, something to write with, or just know that you're going to have to come back to get the specifics about this. And I'm going to have to repeat myself several times just to make sure everybody gets it, and I don't mind, I promise. I just want to make sure you guys get this. So this is what my panel looks like. So here I have 60 stitches across, 50 rows down. I ran, hold on, Premier Puzzle Backgammon with Red Heart Super Saver Soft Navy. Okay. And again, I do have a solid in Premier, but I'm saving it for the cuffs and for all the ribbing. And I'm going to run this with Soft Navy as well. And I'm using an 8mm crochet hook, US letter L. Okay. And my stitch is a half double crochet. Okay. So let me just tell you what you need to know moving forward to week number 2. First, you need to know how many stitches across you have, okay? And you need to know how many rows you have in your panel. So you need to know the things about your panel, right? How many stitches this way, how many rows this way. Once you have that information, you're ready to move on to week number 2, okay? So, hold on one second before I move forward. Samantha, so I read your comment and I acknowledged you earlier, okay? I saw you more than once, so I'm aware of your shipping blessing. Thank you so much, but I have to tell you, I don't know what you're talking about, okay? I haven't seen anything. So if I see it, I'll reach out to you and let you know. Now, back to the live. And so I need you guys to write this down, your stitches across and your rows top to bottom, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to divide by 3, okay? So for me, I have 60 stitches across. So what I did was I placed stitch markers 20, 20, and 20. Now, if you have an odd number, leave the odd number in the middle. Make sure that both of your ends are even, okay? So once you have that, you're ready to begin your panel here. So you want to start on the interior. You want to start right here. You want to take your yarn and join right here. And what you want to do is you want to crochet whatever stitch you're using. You want to go from here all the way to the edge. That's row 1. Come back for row 2 and go back for row 3. So the first 3 rows, no increases. Okay? You begin your increase on row number 4, and I'm going to show you what my panel looks like. So here is my front panel. So as I mentioned, the first 3 rows, no increases. When you get to row 4, you begin row 4 right here on the outside. You're going to go from here all the way in, and you're going to increase right here. Twins in a stitch. That's how you do your increase. 2 stitches in the last stitch. And you're going to increase every other row. You're going to go all the way down until you get to your midpoint. So what is the midpoint? Your midpoint is the center of your panel. So if you have 60 stitches going across, you continue increasing every other row until you get to 30 stitches. And then you place your stitch marker right there when you stop increasing on both sides, and then you're going to go all the way down until you get to the amount of rows that your panel is, 50 inches. Okay? So that is how you do your panel. Now, any questions? I'm sure there's questions, and I'm here for you. So is that the same if using double crochet? Yes. Regardless of your stitch, doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're following the same recipe that I just did. Okay, so I'm going to do this again, and maybe again and again. It's okay. So to start your panel, okay, to start your panel, you're going to join your yarn right here. All right. Let me see. Okay, you can rewind as many times as you want. Absolutely. Okay, So I'm going to do this again. You need to know how many stitches across. You need to know how many stitches are in your panel going across. You also need to know how many rows your panel is, okay? So for me, my panel is 60 stitches across and 50 rows down, okay? That's my panel. So I need to divide by 3. We all need to divide our panel in thirds and place stitch markers in the thirds. So for me, it's every 20 stitches, okay? As you can see right there. You join your yarn on the inside right here by your neck. You join, and then you do rows 1, 2, and 3 with no increases, back and forth 3 times. After the 3rd row, you should be right here on this side, the outside, to start your row 4. On row 4, you are going to go across and you're going to increase inside here. 2 stitches in that very last stitch. That's how you increase. And then you're going to chain up and you're going to go to row 5, chain up, go to row 6, and then increase every other row. You stop increasing when you get to the middle of your panel. So my panel is 60 stitches. The middle part of my panel is 30 stitches. So increase every other row until you get to 30 stitches, okay? So it doesn't matter what stitch it is. It could be double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, it does not matter. You increase every other row until you get to 30 stitches. And then once you get to 30 stitches, you're going to place stitch markers on either side. And I even joined the back panel to the front just to keep it in place. And then 30 stitches back and forth all the way down until you get to the bottom of your panel. Okay? So that's how you do it. And then you're going to repeat that on this side. So to do the second panel, I'm going to start right here because that's the inside. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. And after the 3rd row, I should be right here getting ready to do row 4. On row 4, I start my increase and I increase every other row until I get to 30 stitches. And then once I get to 30 stitches, I'm going to put a stitch marker like I did here and then go all the way down, and that's the end of my panel. Okay? For those of you guys who have odd numbers, you need to round up. You need an even number. So make sure that's the case. Once you have your panels attached, you're going to join your panels from here all the way down. You're just going to join. And you can join however you want to do that. Single crochets, you can do whip stitch, doesn't matter. You can join any way you want. Okay? Add on even row after 3rd row. Yes, every even row. So yes, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Keep going all the way down until you get to your midpoint. Remember, you need to know how many your stitches are. So if you start with 20 and your midpoint is 30, you're increasing until you get to 30 stitches across. Okay? So it's really easy. And guys, remember, you're going to come back and replay this and watch this over again, and it'll be here for you. Okay? And the great part about doing this live like this interactive way, is people get to ask questions and I can answer questions, and you get to watch and listen in on the questions coming back on the replay. So it has a bonus. All right. So yes, I'm using a half double crochet and I'm running a red heart yarn with a premier yarn. Okay. So thank you, Danny, for popping in here. I appreciate you. Have a great day. All right. So it seems pretty easy. And remember, make sure to join your panels. Once your front and your back is done, join it. I would recommend a single crochet or a slip stitch down, or even a whip stitch. If you don't want to, do a stitch, maybe you just want to use a darning needle and yarn, you can do that too. Let's see. Thank you, Shay. Shay says you are the bonus one. I appreciate it. Let's see. Any questions? I'm here for you guys. Undivided attention, all about this. I want to make sure you guys are successful, that you guys can do this. When you make the hoodie version, do you already join the top? So when we get to it, let me turn this around. So when we get to it, I'm literally going to tell you, you're going to start stitches here and you're going to horseshoe it back and forth, horseshoe, back and forth until you get to the height that you need. And then you're going to join the top. And then when we do the ribbing, you're going to go all the way up. Whereas we who are not putting hoods on can literally just go around here like this to do our ribbing. But for the hood people, you're going to latch on. You're going to latch on here, and I'll give you all that later. You're going to latch on here and you're going to horseshoe all the way around, back and forth. And then this is going to grow, and then you're going to clamp it at the top and join up top here. And that's how you do it. Okay? You're joining the sides as I go, but I'm ornery like that. Well, I love that for you, Ruth. Thank you so much, guys. And if you guys aren't familiar, this is Premier Puzzle in the colorway Backgammon. So the front and the back are joined right sides together. So you're going to eventually flip this out. You're working this right now inside out. So very good question. So how this is happening right now, you're going to leave this like this, and you're going to join your sides like this. Okay? And your whole project is worked like this. And then when we go to finish, we're going to flip everything inside out and you're finished. And then we put the cuffs on and all the things. Okay? So yes. Super, super nice. Now, I will tell you, I wanted to do this in checkers, which is the red. I wanted a red sweater, but I didn't have enough of it and I wasn't able to get enough of it in time to do this. But I had plenty of backgammon, so that's what we went with. So, yeah. How do you determine how many stitches? I now have to watch last week's live. So yes, make sure to watch last week's live. I give you very specific instructions on how to get your panel, okay? We all need to make red ones, right? There's nothing like a red sweater. It's so good. I love it. So I just remembered for those of us here in the States, it's the beginning of a holiday weekend, I think. It's Thursday, so maybe not. I don't know. But business as usual for me. I'm going to be doing all the things, guys. So you'll see me around. Hi, Nurse Angie. Welcome in. And Betsy, hello to you. Oh, thank you so much, Betsy. I really do appreciate that. And by the way, guys, I will, be more than happy to answer any questions in the replay. So if you have any questions after this live is over, just come back to the live, leave your questions in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions in the chat. And I will check daily for any questions in the chat. Okay. Can we have a CARDI party date night when the mail finishes? Absolutely. We can all wear our CARDIs with our PJs and just hang out with all the things. Yes. So good. A lot of people expected me to make a purple CARDI. I mean, I wanted to, but I've got all the other things for that. It's fine. I said, if I'm going to do this, it's going to be red or blue. And we went with blue. So good. Hopefully that's not too much for week 2. I thought just doing the 2 front panels and joining it together was enough for week 2. Are you guys good with that? It's enough, right? I don't want to overload anybody because we have all the other things that we're working on. I don't know about you, but me, I have plenty of other projects to work on. So this is perfect for week 2. Perfect. Okay, good. Make your 2 front panels and join the sides, and then we're ready for week number 3. So week number 3, okay, is going to be sleeves. It's going to be sleeves and the hood. So hood for the hood. See, the people who are making hoods, they have their work cut out for them because they have to make the hood and the sleeves. But for those of us who are not making hoods, we just have sleeves. And the sleeves, I mean, ask anybody who's made a cardigan. The sleeves for some are very challenging, but I break it down and I make it very simple for you. It's a very easy formula on how to do the sleeves. You're going to love it. It's going to be good. Oh, so good. Yep. Thursday, September 4th, we're going to be doing the sleeves. Yep. It'll be so, so good. Would you be able to show how to make a collar instead? Well, the only reason why we're not doing that is because the hood folks have to make their hoods first. So if we weren't making hoods at all, we would be doing that. But we have to make sure everyone's on the same playing field. So that's why we're separating all of that. But I can give you like the recipe if you want something like a collar. I've never made a wearable. Blankets are my jam, but I really want to make a sweater. Well, listen, these replays, the Thursday replays, these are the ones that you're going to want to go to. We start with how to come up with your panel size for your back. That's week 1. And then week 2, we're doing the front panels and then we're joining it. Week 3 is sleeves and hoods for those who are doing hoods. And week 4, we're doing the ribbing and finishing touches. This is only a 4-week project. It's really simple. The embellishments also include suggestions for pockets, if that's what you want to do. I know some people reached out and said, hey, you know, I want to do like pockets on either side. I want inside pockets. Well, I'll give you all of the details on how to do that. But we're going to wait for the appropriate week because I don't want everyone to feel like overwhelmed. It's a lot, you know. Making your first wearable, it can be overwhelming, you know. Let me see. Yes. Thank you, Kim. So Kim mentions for the replay people, for those not doing hoods, collar options will come with the ribbing. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. This is your first, Lamar. Listen, once you get the recipe down, you're going to want to make all the things. Just ask Kendall. And for those who don't know Kendall, she makes cardigan after cardigan after cardigan after cardigan. And no sleeves, no sleeves, no sleeves, no sleeves. I kid, Kendall, I kid. I'm just playing. I like teasing her because she does make a lot of cardigans. Anyway, it does make you want, and see, the thing about this is once you know your stitches and your rows, you have the recipe. It just literally becomes, okay, what yarn am I going to use for my next cardigan? I know how many stitches, I know how many rows. Let me just grab the yarn and make my cardigan because I know my size, you know? Kendall crochets. She should be here somewhere. She's around in the chat somewhere. I saw her earlier. Anyway, she may watch the replay. You guys can do this. Like, this is broken down into the basics, right? We're not doing decreases and increases in the same project. We're literally keeping it as basic as possible because this is the big boxy CARDI. We keep it simple and have fun with it. So regardless of what your stitch is, regardless of how big your panels are, the formula will work exactly the same. So yes, when you look at everybody's panels and the front and the back, regardless of the size, it's going to look exactly the same. Now, the smaller size will have less amount of decreases than the bigger sizes, but when you line them up next to each other, the formula is exactly the same. You divide by 3, you do your first 3 rows, and then on the 4th row, you increase every even row until you get to the middle point. And then from the middle point down, you go back and forth until you get to the bottom. That's it. I can't wait for you to work on your CARDI either, Jax. So good. Oh, you're still at work? Oh, I'm sorry. To every beginning, there's an end, right? Your shift will eventually be over. So that's good. Do I need to redo? I'm doing the sedge stitch. Will it work? I'm trying to think. The sedge. Can you divide the sedge? Well, that's a very good question. I know for your flat panels, that'll work. That's no problem. For your front panels, to do your increases every other row, what I would, that's a very good question. If I were you, I would rethink that. I would, you know, figure out a way. Maybe there's a way for you to do like half of a sedge. So like as you're doing your increases, maybe do a sedge plus an extra stitch on that first one, and then depending on what your stitch count is, It's very challenging, but I'm sure it's not impossible. It's just about splitting that last stitch to make your stitch counts accurate. Okay? Absolutely, Val. And by the way, guys, if you have questions, make sure to send off in the comments after the live is over, because it's going to be me and a handful of other people helping me answer the questions. Okay? When making the sleeves, are there any special stitch counts that we need to keep track of when doing the panels? I'm a huge believer in stitch markers for counting rows and stitches. So you just want to make sure that everything is accounted for. So far, our formula is pretty straightforward, right? When you go to do your join, when you go to join your panels, just know that the stitch that you're joining together, that very first stitch, is going to be counted as a stitch. So when you count your stitches in your sleeve, make sure to count that stitch as well, okay? Also, your join at the very top, when you go to crochet the two together, let me just double check. I don't want to give you the wrong information. So yes, the join at the top is also considered a stitch as well. So it does, I guess the straightforward answer to your question is, it doesn't matter what your number is. The decreases, when we go to decrease, it's going to be the same formula for every single person out there. So regardless of how big your sleeve is, your decreases are the same. Let's see. Tammy asks, Juan, you said to measure our favorite shirt and then do the stitches on how many inches you have, right? So yes. So you want to make sure, first, grab your favorite shirt. First, you need to watch week 1. But to directly answer your question, yes. For the specifics, watch week 1. I don't want to confuse anybody here for week 2. Okay? But yes, I give you a very straightforward formula. You can literally measure yourself or grab your favorite shirt that fits perfectly and then go from there. But be sure to watch that first video. Okay? Hi, Rika. Welcome in. You're going to start over again. Didn't want to hold 2 strands together because I don't want to be too hot. I agree. Totally understandable. 1 strand is taking forever. Any suggestions? So it's going to be the lesser of 2 evils. If you want to get it done quick, you're going to have to hold 2 yarns together with a bigger hook, or find a thicker, like an Aran. You have some 4-weight yarns that are thicker. Also, Premier Puzzle is a thinner 5. It's not like a full 5, in my opinion. It works up like an Aran weight yarn. That's kind of why it's my go-to. But if you can find yarn that's like a thicker 4, you can get away with using a bigger hook, like a 6.5. I even know some people who crochet with those thicker 4-weight yarns with a 7mm hook. It's a little lacier, but you know, you still get through it a little faster. Loops and Thread Soft Classic is a thick 4. Premier Basics Worsted is a thicker 4. You can get away with working with a K hook, a 6.5mm hook. So it's slightly larger, and you know, you're not carrying 2 yarns with you. So those are some suggestions for sure. You're using a 6mm, so mine will take a while too. Yeah, take your time, have fun with it. It's a CARDI. It's going to be a CARDI party. It's a CARDI party. And you know, yeah, I understand the need, or not the need, the want to catch up and, you know, do this. The reality is that some of us have the time to sit here and do this. Others may not, and it's okay. Just come back and watch the replay. It's fine. You're using Puzzle with a 7 and it's not lacy. Perfect. See, and that's the other thing too, guys. You got to take into consideration everyone's tension is different. So we know people who use thicker hooks, but their tension's really tight and it comes out perfect. We also know other people who use smaller hooks and they have very loose tension and it looks like they used a really thick hook, but they didn't. So use that for, you know, whatever it's worth. Like, take a look at your work and say to yourself, okay, could I go up a hook? Maybe I need to go down a hook. Maybe it's too lacy. It's all good. I'm using loops and threads. Heathered bamboo. Okay, and doing 2 strands, it's getting heavy, but that's okay. I live in Utah and we get cold. Yes. So Tawna, that yarn is pretty weighty, even if you're running 1 strand in that project. Because I did a hat with that yarn and it was very heavy, that hat, and I only ran 1 yarn, like 1 strand of it. If you're running 2, it's pretty weighty, so it's perfect. You did use bigger hook for the chain. Great tip. Yes. So for those of you guys who have not started your panel yet and you're interested in doing it, make sure that you hook up one size for your chain and then go back to the hook size that you plan on using for your project to do your rows. You'll find that by doing that, you won't have any curling or anything like that. Everything will be just as it should be. One, do you know how much yarn it will take? Honestly, it depends on lots of things. I strongly encourage you to have 2,000 yards nearby, somewhere between 1,800 to 2,000 yards, just because you don't know how many stitches, like you don't know the stitch, your tension, and all the things. So lots of things. Let's see. You started with a single crochet foundation row. Very nice. You was looking at the tutorial for the grit stitch, I believe, which doesn't have a stitch count. Is that a good stitch? So the stitch count for the grit is 2. It's every other stitch. I do have other stitches that don't require a stitch count. It was the one that I put out last week, I think it was. It's the one where there's 2 stitches in one. I can't think of it. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but it's there. It's in there. It has a really nice texture. Do I have the... I don't have it nearby. I never do when I need it. The pick stitch, P-I-Q-U-E. Very nice. P-I-Q-U-E. That doesn't have a stitch multiple. I have several. Yep, the pick stitch. Very, very nice. So yeah, there's tons of choices, and you don't have to go with the standard half double crochet if you don't want to. Completely up to you. This is my go-to, and I actually thought about doing the double crochet herringbone. I was thinking about that, but then I thought to myself, well, no. Just like that. No reason. Nah, I'll do it next time. You're alternating singles and doubles. It takes a while, but loving the look, and it isn't spacey. Very nice. Very, very nice, Rosie. In sewing, we call the fabric pique or piqué. Very nice. Hello, Christina. Welcome in. Very nice that you're able to make it. Very, very nice. So any other questions? You're doing half double crochet and then camel. Sweet. I love that. Hi, Deb. Welcome in. And this one here that I completed was also done in a half double crochet. And I have to tell you, with the hood, this being a 5X, it took a lot of yarn. It did. It took a lot of yarn. I used somewhere between 16 and 18 skeins of Red Heart Super Saver Aran Fleck. I ran 2 of them together with an 8mm hook. It's really long. It's like a long CARDI with ribbing, with the oversized hood, long oversized sleeves, all the things. It took a lot of yarn. So take that for what it's worth. The one that we're doing now is slightly different in that I'm not encouraging you guys to go extra long with it. Yeah, so ours is going to be a little on the shorter side, not as long as a house coat kind of a thing, because this is really long. It goes to like my upper thigh, mid-thigh, sorry, mid-thigh. Anyway, lots of yarn there. So you could use this pattern for a robe. Yes, you can. You can literally make this panel, you know, your back panel, you can go all the way down as far down as you want. And then when you go to week 2 and you start here and you anchor on, you do your increases, same situation. And then when you stop, you can go straight down with it if you wanted to. Let's see. Hold on one second. Let me move this box out of the way. 1 second. Ugh. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Any questions? Undivided attention. You have me for all the things. This is great for the replay warriors. It's great for you guys who are watching this back for any questions that you guys may have with any of the things. Let's see. Are you doing 2 strands of puzzle yarn at the same time? So what I'm doing is I'm running 1 strand of puzzle and 1 strand of Red Heart Super Saver in soft navy. So here are my 2 yarns. So Red Heart Super Saver in soft navy and this. And I got to tell you, the skein that I pulled for this, it's not their usual 4. This is a thinner 4, which is fine. It doesn't matter to me. But yeah, I'm using these 2 strands. Okay. And I do have that solid, like I mentioned earlier in the live, but I'm running this with the same Red Heart Super Saver in royal blue. Sorry, soft navy. For the cuffs and for the ribbing and everything. So yeah, I'll have a solid for all of that. Let's see, I'm only 5'2", but I love a long sweater moment. The longer the better. I love that for you, Tasha. So good. So let's see, would you recommend just one then with the bamboo? I have to use very soft yarn because of my, okay. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that yarn suggests a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook with just 1 strand. If that's the case, then yes, I would suggest very strongly that you stick with just the 1 strand because it's pretty weighty on its own. If you're running 2 together, then it's an 8 millimeter hook. So the choice is definitely yours to make. Hi Adele, thank you so much for being a member for 16 months. Thank you so much for your support. So good. Yes. Thank you for all the wonderful emojis too. Love it. So yes, 4.5 millimeters. So I personally, I believe that that's not correct. When I did that hat, it was very, very weighty. It was very big. I used a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook and it worked up beautifully. I'll let you be the judge of your own work. If you feel like you can get away with just using 1 strand, then go ahead and do that. See what it looks like. Maybe work up a little swatch first before you dig into that endeavor. Do yourself a little swatch, see what that looks like, and if you like it, then go with that. You have puzzle checkers. I'm going to frog for this project. 3 skeins maybe be enough. Are you running any other yarn with that? Because 328 yards times 3 is just under 1,000 yards, and you're going to need more than 1,000 yards. Love being a member, though. It's been way longer than 7 months. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Kari. I really do. Thank you for the hearts. So good. Okay. You're using a bulky, so 1 strand works? Yes. You can do that as well. And it's a choice. You know, you're not, like I was telling everyone, like you can make this in any weight of yarn you want. You can use a DK weight yarn. You can use a cotton yarn, bulkies. It doesn't matter. The recipe on how we do this is exactly the same, regardless of the weight of your yarn. It's the same. Oh, let's see. What if odd numbers are cross and down? So you're going to round to the nearest even number and then follow the recipe as per usual. Just round up to the next even number. Okay. Can you use 2 strands of the 4 to, yes, you can run 2 4s together to give you that bulky weight yarn. And then depending on how thick your 4s are, you can go with a 7 or an 8. I would go with an 8 because that's what this is. Red heart, I ran 2 red hearts together and I used an 8, a letter L. Okay, so it'd be perfect. It would be great. Now some 4 weights are very thin 4 weights. And if that's the case, if you're running 2 thin 4s together, yes, technically it's still a bulky, but I wouldn't maybe run to an 8 millimeter hook, maybe go with a 7. So yeah. Oh, thank you so much, DD. I appreciate that. Love the support. You're using a 7 with a bulky 5 and it's good. I love it. So good. You used the K? Perfect. Okay. You loved every minute of the last 18 months. Colleen L has been a member for 18 months. I can't believe it's been 18 months, guys. That's incredible. Like, how? It's weird. Wow. I love that for us. It's so hard to find 7 millimeter hooks. Well, Prim has them. I don't know if they're your go-to hook, but yeah, Prim has some wonderful 7mm hooks. They're the green ones. I have a 6 and an 8 here. My 7s are in the other room. But yeah. So yeah, but if I doubled 2 4 weights, I'd have used an 8. Okay. You love to make different things. I love that, Margaret. That's so cool. Furls has them? Yes. Clover and More has a 7 too. Yeah. So there's different companies that have the 7s for sure. So yeah. Love that. So let's see. Oh, we have someone from the bushes coming out to say hi. Hello, Andrea. Thank you so much for giving us a hello from the bushes. I love it. We have bush viewers. I love that for us. And every now and then they come in and they say hi, and then they go back to the bushes. Is the 7 same as a J? So no. So a 6 is a J. A 7 is somewhere in between a K and an L. It's like a half a step. Not really a K, but not really an L. It's right in the middle. Prim considers that their K hook because they don't have a 6.5. So to some companies, that 7mm is a K. But for the vast majority of the rest of the hooks out there, a 6.5 is a K. And also weights, depending on the company, an 8mm is also an L. So again, it all depends on the company and the way that they have their hooks measurements, or their hooks measured. Let me just pull this out. So here, I don't know if you can see this, it's got the millimeters and the letters. So for this particular one, it's got L as an 8mm hook. But we know that there's companies out there that do list 7s as L's as well. So you really have to just be mindful of that. This one has 8mm as a letter L too. So it just depends. All right. It's so much easier if you just use, right. But isn't there always an easier way to do everything? Premier Puzzle Solid, is that what you're using? For my cuffs and for my ribbing, yes, I am using that. I'm using this. It's in navy, and I'm running this with Red Heart Super Saver and Soft Navy together, and I'm using an 8mm crochet hook. So I'm using a 5 and a 4, and I'm using that together. So yeah, super soft, super squish, all the things. Yeah. Hopefully it'll run really nice with all of this busyness of the yarn, you know, for the edging. I mean, up against, I think it would. I think that's a nice touch. Yeah, I like how that looks. This darker color for like the ribbing. Yeah, I'm excited to see what this looks like when it's all done. One, I'm late today. I'm using 2 DKs. So what size hook should I use? A 6. So the go-to size for a DK weight yarn is typically a 5.0, like 4.5 to a 5. If you're running 2 DK weight yarns together, my go-to is always a 6mm US letter J hook. It works up really great. And depending on how thick your DK weight yarn is, sometimes you get a 3 weight that's kind of on the thicker side. You can get away with using a letter K. It just depends. So for instance, if you're using Line Brand Mandala and you're running both of those together, you can very easily use a 6.5 letter K. But my go-to always is a 6 when I run 2 DK weights together. So, super, super nice. Charlene's asking, Andrea, where are the bushes? I love it. You're using Mandala Impression and Jack's Puzzle with an N. So, okay, so that's a very thick combination. Love that. And for those of you guys who have not seen Mandala Impression yarn, I'm going to show you. I have some. I keep yarn close by, just in case. So this is Mandala Impressions, and the colorway here is Nightfall. And this is a bulky 5. And so Gail is using 2 5-weight yarns. So this and also Premier yarn. So yes, you have the right size. I think that's actually going to look really nice together. It's a very different combination but we like different. So I'm super excited to see what that looks like. This is so soft and squish. I don't want to use it because it's so nice. I'm like, it's like eye candy for me, you know? I look at it and I'm like, what can I make with that, you know? Oh, yes. So hopefully I was able to answer questions. Again, feel free to watch the replay, guys, if you're interested in making this cardigan. This is our summer make-along project. Every season since I've started my channel, I do a seasonal project. So the summer project is this cardigan, and it runs 4 weeks. This is week 2 of 4, okay? So once this is over, then we're gonna shift gears and work towards the fall project, which is yet to be announced. We're gonna get through this first. Let's get through this cardigan. It has to be a 6 weight? No. You can make it any weight of yarn you want. You don't have to make this big boxy cardigan in a heavier weight yarn. You can make it in a 4 weight. You can make it in a 3 weight. It's completely up to you. But just understand that the thinner your yarn is, the longer it's going to take you to get to your end destination. So if you don't mind that, then by all means, go do all the things. Are we doing ribbing at the end? Yes. Week 4 is going to be for ribbing and final touches, like pockets if you want them, any of the things, like buttons. All of that is in week 4. Okay. I've never made any kind of clothing. Is this going to be heavy filling? So that really depends on you, Linda. If you want to use thicker yarns, yes, it's going to be heavier. But if you want to use thinner yarns, you can use them as well. The formula for how you build this cardigan is exactly the same regardless of the weight of your yarn. Does not matter. You can use all DK weight, you can use bulky weight, super bulky, does not matter. It's all done the same way. And I promise you that once you finish this and you have your own recipe, you're going to want to make another one because now you have the recipe and you can just build it the way you want. And maybe you can pick different yarn, you can pick, you know, a different hook and all the things. So what is DK yarn? It's double knits. So it's a number 3 yarn. It's slightly thinner than your traditional worsted weight yarn, your typical red heart yarn. That DK weight yarn is slightly thinner. It's on the thinner side. I'm looking around to see if I have DK weight yarn nearby. I usually do. This time I do not. No, I don't have, is this DK weight? No, that's a 4. No, I don't have DK weight nearby. I usually do. I don't know why I don't this time. Oh, yes, I do. It's right here. Hold on. So this is a DK weight yarn. So it looks like a 4 weight, but it's a thinner. That's a 3 weight, a double knit DK. This is a 4 weight, slightly thicker. You can kind of see the difference side by side. Okay. And then here's a 5 weight. This is a 5, slightly thicker. And then here's a 6. How did I have all these nearby? This is a 6. So it gets slightly thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. Okay. So yeah. Also, you're always able to find it on your ball band, right there. Okay. Will this recipe work if done in simple Tunisian stitch? Di Facino, I'm not really sure. This is a crochet recipe. I've never tried it in Tunisian simple stitch. So to directly answer your question, I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but I'm not sure. Huge hugs to you, Regina, of course. Let's see. You're using Woodstock? Super nice. All the things has to have pockets, please. Yes, week number 4, I will show you how to do the pockets. You're actually going to build right on. Well, I'll give you 2 options. You can create a little patch and sew it on, or you can crochet right onto your work. So, tons of choices. I will tell you, week number 4 is going to be packed with lots of information because not everyone's going to want to do all the pieces and parts of it. So I'm just going to topic, and tell you how to do it. And you can pick and choose. And remember, you can always come back and watch the replay. Vivian, that is the truth. Vivian says, because you are a true yarn addict. If you could only see. Look, I even have lace weight. Who has lace weight on their desk? Look at this. Or superfine. Sorry, superfine, lace weight. I don't know. I have all the weights. I have a 2 weight. I have a 1 all the way through 6. I guess the only one I don't have is a jumbo number 7. Because where could I put a jumbo number 7 on my desk? I don't have a number 7, but I have all the other numbers for sure. And of course, I have cups filled with knitting needles and crochet hooks and pens and all the things. I have multiple cups like that. So yeah, but I can never find a pair of scissors or darning needle when I need them. I'm always looking. It's like a needle in a haystack, looking through all the things, trying to find what I need for a project. It's insane. I love it for us. Anyway, guys, I just want to say I appreciate having you guys here with me every Thursday. Traditionally, it's my midweek live, but during this make-along, I'm pushing all of that content for the podcast. And our Thursdays for the 4 weeks is literally going to be about this make-along. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Please make sure that you come back and watch the replay to get any answers to questions you may have. If you don't get your answer you're looking for, then feel free to leave a question in the comments, and me and a group of others will be back into those comments to answer any questions you may have. Okay? So before I close out, does anybody here have any questions about anything we covered? I just want to make sure that you guys are good. Are we good? Oh. Okay. Let's see. Thank you for support. Oh, thank you so much, Yvette, for that. You might need to add some of our custom colorway to that stash, right? Okay. Okay, so thank you, Kim, for mentioning that. And for those of you guys who are watching the replay, there is an email address that you guys can send emails to. It's jtyasquirrelsquad@gmail.com. Feel free to use that. It will also be in the show notes for you guys. Okay? You're going to go to the comments with a question? Perfectly. Okay. So that is all I have for this live, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys on the next one. All right? So have a good one. Bye.